UCLA.
With USC great and NFL stud, Frostee Rucker.
The Trojans back in front.
And LAFB founder Ryan Dyrud on the Believe Podcast Network and LAFBnetwork.com. This is your destination for Los Angeles football.
What is up, Los Angeles? Welcome into another episode of the Believe in LA Football Podcast. Always on the Believe Podcast Network, always on LAFBnetwork.com, and I am always joined by ice cold Frostee Rucker. What's up, man?
Man, not too much, Ryan. LA, what is poppin'? We're here. We got a show for you today. Got one of my old homies on here today.
Yeah, how far back do you guys go?
Oh, man, we go back like two flats on a Cadillac.
I love it.
I don't know if you ever heard that one before.
I have, not in a long time. But yeah.
No, but we go back, I would say, 16, 17 years.
I love it.
Yeah, so, I'm excited, guys. You guys just wait for this one. This is a good one. This is a cross, right? Is that what you're calling it, Ryan?
Yeah.
A
cross pod. A little cross pod. So we are joined, since we keep teasing it, we are going to be joined by the fellas that do the Seahawks podcast. They are also on the Believe Network, but Brett Davern, actor, you might know him for being on the MTV show Awkward, does a great job on there. He's a lifelong Seahawks fan. And his co-host, Lofa Tatupu, former Trojan. So he's a fan of the LA Football Podcast, but also All-Pro for the Seahawks. So have a blast talking with those guys, which we'll get to shortly. As always, the LA Football Podcast brought to you by Golden Road Brewery, local and one of the favorites here in Los Angeles. Local locations in Atwater Village, Orange County. They got a bunch. You can pick up beer there or go to LAFBnetwork.com, head to the LAFB locker room, and you can buy this Who's House or this Bolt-Up beer right there. Nice and easy. Frost, we were talking a little bit last night about some bets. BetOnline.ag, friend of the show, sponsor of the show. It's a great place to go to place all your prop bets, money lines, spreads, everything they have there. Frost, I saw a fun one yesterday. I'm curious your answer. Is a prop bet on there, betonline.ag.
Okay.
Which is going to happen first?
Right.
The New York Football Jets win a game, or Donald Trump concedes the election to Joe Biden. What happens first?
The Jets are going to win. I don't know versus who, but the Jets are going to win.
I think the Jets happen first too, especially because, technically Trump doesn't have to lead White House till January. So the Jets won't be playing football in January, and I hope they go to win before then.
Yeah, same.
So anyway, that is a prop bet on betonline.ag. They got plenty of fun stuff like that, plus all your normal stuff, coin tosses, different, who's going to wear what socks, what cleats, all this fun stuff. So betonline.ag. Head there today. Sign up bonuses if you haven't signed up yet. Great place to go. Frostee, right. Anything else to add before we just jump into this cross pod?
No, let's get it.
All right, guys, enjoy. All right, we got a very special episode today, a crossover show, joined by some great guests. I'm always joined by the great ice-cold Frostee Rucker, and today we're talking Hawks and Rams, and we're joined by two great ones. They do the Seahawks podcast on the Believe Network. You know him as Jake Rosati. We know him as Brett Davern. He's joining us, and All-Pro Linebacker for the Seahawks, always zoned in, Lofa Tatupu. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Oh. We want to talk over each other. What's up, guys? How's it going? This is really cool, man. This big roundtable forum is fun to be a part of so far.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us. Frost Ruck, one of my favorite teammates of all time, and an absolute savage like myself. So thank you for having me.
51 Savage for you guys that didn't know. No, I'm pumped, man. Anytime we can have converse like this and go back and forth and ask Lofa what type of aminos he's drinking and Ryan what kind of espresso he's having this morning, we're in good hands. So let's get.
I don't think I've ever had espresso. I don't think I've ever once had an espresso, but hey, that's fine. You can put that in the universe.
He's lying.
Oh yeah, but this is gonna be fun. Brett, let's just we'll try to when we go back and forth. Let's just call out a name so it's easier with the four of us.
Yeah, sure.
Both teams coming off a loss, but Seahawks, more notably because the Rams were on a bye. So how are you guys feeling over there?
Yeah, well, I mean, not good. Let's be honest about it. It wasn't a great game from us. Man, it was a rough one. I mean, Lofa he called me even later in the evening. Like, we talked throughout the game, and then also he called me back hours later, still distraught over this one. And I mean, we're taking this one harder than the Cardinals loss, honestly, right, Lofa?
Yeah. There was some things that kind of scare you, right? That we, haven't happened in the past. And, the Hawks usually known for finishing strong. Just this one felt a little different, especially with the way we gave up yards, touchdowns, and the turnovers really were the biggest thing. And that's what I was zoning in on going into that week. And man, it came back to haunt us.
So the things that you guys have, I'm sorry, B-Dog, the things that you guys are saying, does that scare you going forward, or you think it was just a one-game scenario?
Well, I was going to say, Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll have a great record in coming off of losses. Mm-hmm. So, coming into this week, hopefully they're watching film, doing all the things that they do, during the week, Tell the Truth Monday and all that kind of stuff, and going to be righting the ship this weekend. So, Russell Wilson plays his best in big games. It's a division game. He always gets up for those, and I'm excited for a good matchup on Sunday.
Yeah, the one thing Bruce Arians always told me, sorry, Lowdown, the one thing Bruce Arians always told me, good teams don't lose twice. And our team over here has come off a loss too, and then went straight to a bye, and it was an embarrassing loss. And Brian, as you can contest to this, we sit here and say the Rams are a good team. Are we still sitting here saying they're a good team? Because good teams don't lose twice, and if we really look at it, the Seahawks are the better team here.
Yeah, well, this game will tell us if they really are a good team. You have if we don't need to get too boring with stats, but if you want to look at that, you have the Rams have the second-ranked defense and the Seahawks have the dead last-ranked defense. So it's going to come down to which defense comes out and can slow each of the offenses down, because the offenses are a little more comparable. Hawks obviously a little above them. So it'll come down to defense, and we'll see if this Brandon Staley unit can bounce back. I mean, the defense has been playing good, so see if the offense can bounce back. But I want to ask I'll ask you, Lofa. After the Miami game, Jared Goff had 4 turnovers. And it's like every time Jared Goff does anything bad, it's doomsday in LA, time to move on. The contract is horrible. Everything's bad in the world, yada, 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 down the line. Russell Wilson, it's no mystery. We all know he is the better quarterback, arguably the best quarterback in the game, one of my favorites. But he had 4 turnovers too. Is that concerning to you, or is that more of him just trying to do so much to get his team back in this game when a defense gives up 44 points and he's just doing everything he can?
Yeah, I mean, it all is a little concerning, but I'm not going to say that those were all his fault, all 4 of those. 2 were actually protection issues in terms of the first fumble, probably held on to it a little too long, just get rid of it, Russell. But then we've seen how many plays he's made while holding onto the ball and moving through the pocket. But then the other one, it was just a clean blitz off the edge by the linebacker. And, he got hit about 16 times that game. That's not a recipe for success. I don't care if you are the MVP. That's not awesome. And Frost can tell you, how much those hits pile up and where maybe you do get rid of the ball a little quicker than you want to because that clock's going quicker in his head. But most concerning for me, and to answer Frost from the previous question, is, those wide receivers you guys have, and Goff going against, the pass defense that, well, I should say we don't have, unfortunately. We acquired Dunlop, that Frost was a teammate of yours, and maybe you can speak of him after this right here. But, he's added already, and we had 7 sacks, and hopefully we can generate more pass rush to help those yards. But Frost, what did you think about the acquisition of Dunlop to us?
I thought it was a good one. It brought peace to him in that whole Cincinnati situation. The last person Pete's taken from Cincinnati was Clint McDonald, and that resulted into a Super Bowl. And, obviously this is a little different with Dunlap being a Pro Bowl player and just an awesome force off the edge. I thought it was a good move. At this rate in the season or any season, you always get the best players you can get. I love playing football like that or being on a team that moves that direction. Get a better player. If you can get one, go get them.
Well, speaking of getting a better player, me and Brett we were throwing the energy out there in the air on interviews like, yo, what's up with Ryan Kerrigan? Mm-hmm. And a name we didn't mention, yo, what's up with Frostee Rucker? You got some snaps left in you?
Had a series, he said.
I got a series. Maybe goal line.
I don't care what it is.
I'm running. I'm effective. I know what I'm doing on goal line.
Yeah.
Hey, that's important. You guys got to win off that goal line beating the Patriots, right?
I'll finish.
That's all you need.
Let me jump in here and ask these guys because, speaking of the Seahawks defense, and look, we all know that they're ranked last in the league, especially in the pass defense. We know these things, and it's got to get better. Ken Norton was answering a lot of questions all week saying that he's well aware and that he knows it has to get better and all those kinds of things. I mean, Lofa, you know him. What do you guys expect to see out of the Seahawks defense going against the Rams? Is he just going to be bringing it all the time or are they going to be changing up the secondary, maybe more man-to-man? What do you guys foresee this weekend?
I'll jump in first, I guess. The only thing that concerns me, I think, is Frost and I have talked all the time about this Rams offense. It's so important to have a balanced attack, right? We have to have – every time the Rams have had over 30 carries, they've won every single time. If they have less than 30 carries, they've won one and lost two. My fear is Mcvay sees that horrible pass defense and says, okay, we're just going to air it out all game long like they did against Miami, which is not what they need to do. And then they can make mistakes. You get that pass rush going, like you mentioned with Ken Norton, saying he maybe will come after him a lot more. So that's my only concern. But if they can be balanced, I really like how the Rams can move the ball on this defense.
I don't see anybody challenging, in terms of the DBs, I don't see them challenging receivers. There was a couple we saw, 15 yards off on like a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 9. And I understand Stephon Diggs can blaze the track, but if he gets the ball and has the chance to scan the field and make his move, it's even worse, right? And so I think Kenny Norton's really forced to add on pressure and bring blitzes because when we did come back and close the gap to make it a one-score game, 27-20, we were getting most of probably 4 of our 7 sacks came from right there with Jamal Adams coming off the edge twice and Bobby Wagner up the middle, KJ Wright adding in. So you got to generate pass rush any way you can if you don't have it out of the front 4, as Frost could tell.
Yeah, it's just, Lofa, looking at this, I've never seen the Seahawks defense play like this. It's unheard of. So, obviously there's a first time for everything. I hate to say it in this instance, but you're going to have to blitz the Rams. You can't let Goff sit back there and beat you. He's highly capable of doing it. If you're a betting man this week, I would say he's not going to, but he can do it. He's proven in the past. He can get on the streak, and he can blaze. He does have Robert Woods out there, Bobby Trees, what Ryan always calls him. Yes, fight on, Lofa, you too. And Ken Norton has to cover up deficiencies in the defense, so he has to call blitzes. That's the end of it. He's going to have to put pressure in Goff's face, make him scramble, get out of the way. He's not really efficient on the run like that. That's not his game. His game is sitting in the pocket. So I think a lot of A-B gap blitzes are going to be coming their way, making the running back pick them up. And then if the running back has to actually pick up this blitz of Bobby Wagner breathing down his neck, then he's not going to be able to get out in the pass route, right? Then you're going on this one-on-one with Bobby Wagner and, running back. How many times can the running back block him?
Yeah. Do you guys see it as a personnel problem or a scheme problem? It seems like they're just trying to tailor make every single game plan, which I know you do, but it just feels like which is it? Is it coaching or is it the players on the field?
For the Rams or for the Seahawks?
Seahawks in the defense.
Okay.
I mean, look, I know you guys know Ken Norton's your dog and he used to coach you. Yeah, I love Kenny Norton. But I don't care what defense you call. If you give up that kind of space to Stephon Diggs, you give up that even Cole Beasley, you're going to get gashed. And I said it going in, I didn't think with the way Josh Allen was playing, he hadn't played well coming into that game. They had leaned on that running game of Singletary and Moss to the tune of 200 yards the week before. So I was floored when they came out throwing. Now I know, the second series came out throwing again, and that's when we're like, okay, they have to eventually go to the run game, right? And they didn't. And so that's when I wasn't surprised when I heard Pete after. He's like, I didn't expect them to completely abandon the run. So now teams are literally just changing plan of attack because they see deficiencies in our defense. And so I fully believe it's personnel. And, I mean, we got great players, but they're just not playing together. I want to know where Demarius Randall is, because if Quentin Dunbar's not healthy, Shaq Griffin's not healthy, we're down to the second or third string. Demarius Randall's a first-rounder, averaged 3 interceptions every year of his career. He can play corner and safety.
Wow.
Yeah. Tell our Brett, I'll start with you, and then Lofa, you can chime in. But tell our Rams listeners, because I've watched some Hawks games, but not a ton. How has Jamal Adams looked since getting there? Obviously, that was the huge get for him. But just for people that haven't watched the games, how has he looked for you guys?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you from a fan perspective right off the bat, I mean, super juiced up and jazzed and excited when we got him, obviously, Pro Bowler, all-pro guy, young still, hungry. And right off the bat, I mean, it was like just having a new toy out there. He's just coming from everywhere, hitting everything that moves. Playing just amazing football at the beginning of the season. Then he gets hurt and he's off the field for so long. And this last game was his first one in. And, I mean, he even said after the game, he felt like his conditioning still wasn't where it needed to be coming off the injury and stuff like that. I mean, he looks great when he's coming after the quarterback. Mm-hmm. He's a little suspect in coverage sometimes, but I don't know if that's him or if that's just him not knowing the system enough yet or whatever. I think Lofa could speak to that, but I love having him so far. He's fun to watch. I'll say that. He's entertaining.
Yeah,
he's an absolute dog. I mean, he's the kind of player you want. He's a safety, and he's a rare talent. Rushing the quarterback, I haven't seen many that can do it the way he does. I liken him to a guy an all-time great that I have a lot of respect for and played with, Lawyer Malloy. Every time Lawyer came through the A-B gap, something big happened, whether it was a sack, speeding up the quarterback, and this is what we're seeing Jamal bring to the table. Now, he has some things to work on in coverage, but I believe those are, generally easy fixes. So he's not that undisciplined. He just needs to see some things a little quicker, and that'll come with time. And you remember, no off season, new team. He's finding out a whole new playbook. And I don't want to make excuses for an all-pro and one of the best in the game, but that is a lot to adjust and take in. I think he's done fine. Maybe played 3 games, and he's got 3.5 sacks. I mean, there's a lot of safeties don't get that in a career.
Here, let me just jump in here again, guys. I got questions. All right. Here, Lofa and I do this on our show. So you Rams guys, you fill in the blanks for the Rams, and Lofa, you fill in the blanks for our Hawks here. If the Rams or /Seahawks do blank, they will win this game. Like, what is the absolute key to the game for each team?
I'll start. If the Rams shut down DK Metcalf, and that's going to be the matchup I cannot wait to watch. Jalen Ramsey, DK Metcalf, if he follows him all game, which I hope he does. Obviously, you guys have great talent too with Tyler Lockett and other weapons out there, but DK has been killing it. Should have been a first-round pick. The dude's a freak, and I'm looking forward to watching Jalen and him. And if they can shut him down, I think that's a good recipe for the Rams.
The Rams can win this game if – this is a good one. If Aaron Donald has 2 or more sacks.
Wow, that's great. I love it. I'm going to be looking for that all game.
Because in order for DK to get the ball, it goes through Russell. And the first line of defense there is Aaron Donald. So I'm not going to count him out. He always has to be a factor in these conversations. And that's what I'm going to go with. If he has 2.5 sacks, because they can happen in the fourth quarter, it could have one in the first, could stop a drive, big-time plays, because that's how it gets down. And that could be the thing. I'm not even sitting here saying the Rams are going to win. But to your question, if he has 2.5, I think there's a better shot.
It needs to happen.
Mm-hmm. Lofa for the Seahawks?
For the Hawks, we got to win this turnover battle. And because it's against the Cardinals, we lost it. Against Buffalo, we lost it bad, 4-0. Our only 2 losses of the season when we don't win the turnover battle, because it creates more opportunities for their offense. And, everybody's throwing for 400 yards. About 5 guys, right, have Newton, who I don't know if he's thrown for over 300 all year other than that game. And, he hit 400 against us, or 398, sorry. But so if we don't get turnovers and, give Russ more opportunities so he doesn't feel like it's all on his shoulders and take chances like he's been taking, that is really the telling stat of how the Hawks come away with the victory.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, if I'm going to fill in my own blank, I would say the Seahawks have to establish a run game with a running back. it can't be on Russell to do everything, like Lofa just said, and you have to make the defense respect the play action, which is where Russell gets a lot of his big plays, and he throws those beautiful moon ball deep balls off of play action a lot. And with the injuries we've been having, it's been tough to find somebody to be there every game, frankly. So you got DJ Dallas now. They signed Alex Collins. They put Bo Scarborough on their practice squad this week also. Travis Homer, he's out there. And somebody has to step up and lead the team from a tailback position or standpoint so that Russell's, some pressure's taken off him and he's allowed to do what he can do. Let Russ cook, man. Come on.
Yeah. Well, and Lofa, to what you said, I think it's exactly the same for the Rams too. They've lost games when they lose a turnover. I mean, it's usually most teams do in the NFL, right? Like you have to win the turnover. That's the recipe to win. But the Rams specifically, exactly like the Seahawks, when the offense, they lose games when the offense loses it for them. The defense has surprised, I think, everyone in the NFL with how well they're playing. And so all the offense has to do is score 17 to 20 points and not turn the ball over. Like that's it. Against the Seahawks, maybe a little more because of how dynamic your offense is. But that's generally been all they needed to do. And against the Dolphins, they gave up 17 points on offense. So that's not going to win you games.
Yeah. We're going to start recognizing that Buffalo's a good team.
No, absolutely not.
Lofa won't, but they're a good team. Every time they keep doing this to people, I'm just saying.
They're an interesting team.
You're going to lose to Miami, bro.
The only teams they've lost to is the Titans and who? The Titans and
they had one bad loss, I feel like.
They got blown out by the Titans, I think. The Chiefs beat them too.
Chiefs and Titans. Yeah, I mean those are two great teams.
Never heard of them.
All right.
Well, I know. 51 Savage.
I'm not. This is way off topic, but I'm still. And it sounds probably naive to say, but I'm still not a huge Josh Allen believer. I don't know why. I'm just not.
I don't care. They just prefer cards. Everybody else has too. Like. There's career games happening all around the league, and I think that's because there's no fans. But we won't get into that, theory.
X factor. Well, in Seahawks world, it's half fans, half speakers. So we all know that, Lofa.
Oh, shots
out of here! They hate us because they ain't us.
The truth comes out.
It's
pretty loud.
I'm not a believer. Not a believer yet in Buffalo. Like I said. Miami is still in position to take that. I didn't think Miami was going to beat Arizona.
Yeah.
And they did.
Tua.
And Tua played well. Well, because
I haven't gave him any credit.
I didn't give him any credit for that Dolphins the win against LA because
9 completions. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He threw the first touchdown pass when it was like a game, but then the defense played the best I've ever seen, and but then he came back and he showed a lot in that last one, and I don't think Josh does that against that defense, not a second time around.
Lofa, I have a question for you. At what point does the Seahawks or Pete Carroll blame Norton or blame a player?
I don't think ever, because that's championship teams don't do that. We've been on them. We don't point fingers. We just do our best to, pick it up. And it's, that's the way they're going to keep winning is just.
When does it get ugly?
I don't think no one's going to get thrown under the bus. But
when's the ugliest part of it, though? Where's the level where it's like it can't get no lower than this?
If these close wins turn into losses, that is it's the sad truth. Of course, fans. They're going to talk and say what they will, but that doesn't determine someone's fate, whether a player or coach. And the wins and losses determine that. And we're still 6-2. That's the funny thing is people say, oh, like the sky's falling. It's like, yeah, we're still in first. But to answer your question, if those continue, they start to stack losses where we were used to seeing, that's where I think some attention could be put on a personnel or a coach. Yeah, a player or a coach.
Also, it's not really Pete Carroll's way, is it? He doesn't really make coaching changes mid-year. I can't really remember him doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, though. They haven't been at the bottom of any categories.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
Maybe mistakes in pressured situations.
We're in some uncharted territory.
That's about it. If you look at the whole scope of the Seahawks the last decade plus, this isn't normal. So at what point is it like, okay, it needs to be fixed? I'm not saying a fire or anything.
Absolutely.
And this is what I'll say is in years past, that offense and Russ, they really haven't gotten off to great starts. And so, and we're seeing the total opposite. Exactly.
It was but we never heard for anybody calling for, Bevel's job or any, so.
Well, except for the fans.
Huh?
Except for the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, Seahawks Twitter right now is going crazy over Ken Norton. So, and they used to about Bevel, Seahawks Twitter freaks out all the time about everything.
Every NFL Twitter, the worst. It's a black dark hole. You should be on Chargers and Rams Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Chargers Twitter. Ooh.
It's opposite now, and that offense has carried us, and the defense will catch up, and it's usually right around midseason when we saw it happen in the past. Where Russ and the boys started just in, November and on, just started dominating people in offense, whereas it took time to get started before. So I'm excited about Dunlap. I'm excited about snacks on snacks on snacks. Yeah. He's going to ball. I can't wait to get him out there.
Yeah, perfect timing for you guys.
Right? Yeah, just adding a couple All-Pros. Is that good?
Yeah, not bad. Did I break it? It's not bad. Yeah. Let me ask you this. I'll ask you first, Brett, and then you go to Lofa. This division's been kind of, for the winning team. I think the Seahawks have kind of dominated for the most time, but then you had the Rams in 2018, then obviously the Niners last year, and now you have the Cardinals coming up. Is this game, though, do you think, and I don't want to show any disrespect to the Cardinals or even the Niners who can still battle back, but does this game, you think, predicate who will win this division, or is there still so much to be said about the rest of those other two teams?
Well, the Cardinals, I think, obviously, they'd be the one that you'd look at between the Niners and the Cardinals in terms of who would challenge the Seahawks or the Rams for the division this season. So, Rams and Seahawks determines a lot. It always has in this division for a long time, going back to St. Louis. Torrey Holt bobbling and catching as he runs down the field. Mm-hmm. I'm sure Lofa remembers that one. So yes, for me, being a Seahawk fan, being a lifelong Seahawk fan, seeing this rivalry, knowing what this rivalry means, these games are always the best. I think it's always going to have something to do with who wins the division, even with the 49ers and Cardinals. And, I don't know if I really trust what the Cardinals are doing yet. They're looking amazing, but we took them to overtime. I don't know. So yes, the answer is yes.
I'm going to say no. There's still too much football to be played. It is a three-team race. I'm counting out the Niners. I said it. I was on record. Brett knows before the season said they're not even going to make the playoffs. However, I think all three teams, Rams, Hawks, and Cardinals, can make the playoffs, especially with the added team to the field. So
totally.
Yeah. So I see that happening. And but a huge game. It's always been a big game between these two teams, so I'm looking forward to it. But I'm not going to put that kind of weight on the game because the Cardinals are still right there too.
Yeah, no, I agree. The one thing I'll say about the Cardinals, just because I know their D coordinator Vance Joseph, because he coached my Broncos for 2 years. I know the Seahawks defense technically right now is last, but just the history of the organization and the history of what that defense has done, I think, as you guys have been saying, they'll start turning it around and improving. And with how good the Cardinals have looked and with how good their offense, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, Cliff Kingsbury's head coach, I love him. I just don't trust their defense when it comes down to crunch time in Week 17, Week 1 of playoffs, and I think the Seahawks and Rams are built more for the long term. For now, I think the Cardinals are a year or two away, and they're built for being a great franchise soon.
I'm still not sold on Kingsbury.
You're not sold on him?
Your boy had a losing record in college with Patrick Mahomes at the helm. How does that happen?
His house.
He doesn't coach defense.
Yeah, I'm sold that he's a cool dude, and I'd like to have him in that palace he has. But I'm not sold that he's that dude as a coach, is what I'm saying. So we're gonna find out.
He will. Yeah. He's going versus the Jedi. So
he's got a great team. But how do you lose? How do you have a losing record with the MVP of the league? Patrick Mahomes. I didn't even think that was possible.
Because they gave up 42 points a game. That's why.
Yeah, defense.
Maybe he should have had Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Lofa, let me ask you this: who would you rather have a beer with, Cliff Kingsbury or Sean McVay?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Real tough. Both have great houses.
I give the coolness factor to Kingsbury, and if you're having a beer, you want to have it with a chill dude. But the football factor, because I am a football guy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know because he came up under Gruden and all that. One of the youngest head coaches, to have success and go to the Super Bowl. I know they didn't win it, but I mean, I can't imagine how much football knowledge he has. And actually, is there a fun fact, Brett? Did we look this up?
What's that?
For Georgia Football Player of the Year?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Over Calvin Johnson? Come on, man. Like, that's –
Seen it on Instagram, so it's true.
Had the political asterisk next to it and everything, but it's fact.
Question.
If you're asking me who I want to have a beer with,
Yeah.
I would go with that's really hard, man. Because McVay, yeah, he's got all the football knowledge, except I would just be seeing John Gruden the whole time. He sounds exactly like him. If you close your eyes, the cadence is perfect, right? So it'd be kind of it would throw me off the whole time. I think I'd go with Kingsbury, man. Just chill on that with that view he's got.
Yeah, it's a sick view. I've had beers with Gruden, so I would definitely pick McVay.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I've had beers on the plane with Gruden on the way back. Should I say
I would
that?
just be distracted because McVay would be wanting to take his shirt off, and show off the guns like he did on Hard Knocks, and he'd be giving me too many. He'd be giving me gel tips for my hair and stuff, probably.
And apparently, you wouldn't be having a beer; you'd be having a rosé if you're doing off Hard Knocks. Which I don't know if I'm doing that. To me, though, Cliff Kingsbury, he looks like Ryan Gosling. He's a liability in coverage. I don't know if I could sit down and have a drink with him.
And that's a fact too. And I found a meme on Instagram, so that's true.
What would the beer be? Would it be the Golden Road?
There.
I mean, it has to be. Yeah, we'll do this Whose House Rams Golden Road.
Yeah.
So then it has to be McVay.
Okay, here's a question for all of you.
Yeah.
Any coach in the league, who would it be? Mine would be Mike Tomlin.
Oh yeah.
I want to drink a beer with Mike Tomlin. I never had a conversation with him. I played with Larry Foote in Arizona, and Larry Foote said Mike Tomlin was the biggest fan of you, Frost. He said anytime you guys played each other, he broke down film and was like, watch out for my man Frostee. My man Frostee. On special teams, defense, that's the guy. And I never had a chance to meet him, never got a chance to, play for him. No, but I would drink a beer with him just because he felt like that about my game.
I'll send him this episode, so he'll listen. Let's sweeten the pot, though. What drink? What coach and what drink? What are you drinking with Mike Tomlin?
I'm gonna sit back. If I'm gonna drink a Mike Tomlin,
yeah,
we drinking wine.
Okay,
we got wine, and I'm gonna be doing this.
Tumbling,
watching the little lines on it. You know what I'm talking about?
The legs,
legs.
Yeah, I've been wine tasting.
So yeah, that's what I'd be.
Okay, Mike Tomlin and a glass of cat. Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna go with. Can I do a former coach? Is that all right? All right.
It's your world, buddy.
I'm gonna have my ties with Mike Holmgren. Why not?
Ooh.
I think that would be fun. I know he likes Hawaii too.
Are you going Packers Mike Holmgren or Seahawks Mike Holmgren?
No, I want Mike Holmgren right now. I want retired, been living the good life for a few years, super relaxed, super chill, been contributing on the radio up there in Seattle. I want that. I want Grandpa Papa Bear Mike Holmgren. Just talking about the glory days with Brett Favre and giving me all the funny stories about Hasselbeck and stuff like that. Yeah.
Or when he called the play like the heads or tails and we're gonna win. I'm sure that's
yeah. Get the behind the scenes on that one. What was the receiver's name? Did he run the wrong route on that with Al Harris? Who was that, Lofa?
I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about too. But
anyway, Mike Holmgren, that's my answer.
I love it. Lofa, who you got?
I'm going a tequila with the big tuna, Bill Parcells.
I love it.
I don't know how Lawrence Taylor, Carl Baggs, Harry Carson, just some of the baddest dudes that ever played. I want to know, what they were like in practice, and I want to hear all the stories, about their championship run, and and he coached the Patriots linebackers when my dad was playing for the Patriots. So
you got to get the scoop.
Yeah, I can hear some old stories about the old man too. But yeah, Bill Parcells, I just love the way he approached the game. Like you never had to guess where you stood with Bill Parcells. He told you, hey, that route wasn't shit, or it's tough love. But I always enjoyed, getting that from my coaches. Is like, yeah, man, like this is where you messed up. Like just be real. Don't have me guessing out here, right, Frost? Can you attest to that? Like the coaches that you respect the most,
just keep it real.
They're not giving you.
I'm doing it right, and then in the back say, "Well, I didn't tell them to do that."
Yeah, and run it. Yeah, exactly. And
tell the truth. Just tell the truth.
And so I thought there was no one realer than Bill Parcells, man.
That's a good one. All right, so I'm going to go. I'm not at all a fruity drink guy. I'm a beer or a whiskey guy. But for this instance, I'm having a drink with an umbrella in it. I'm sitting underneath a palm tree with my feet in the sand, throwing on a Tommy Bahama shirt, and sitting with Andy Reid and talking offense. I'm an offensive guy. I want to learn all about these schemes, these quarterbacks, these receivers, and me and Big Red are just sipping on a nice, daiquiri talking offense.
That's a good one. I mean, think about all the
team, right?
Yeah. Right. And his mustache game is strong.
Just caught him at the bar,
Yeah. Tom Cruise is serving behind it, cocktail action.
He ordered some fries.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Great.
That's funny, Ryan. You and I are taking dudes to tropical places, and they both look the exact same.
I know.
What's up with us?
I don't know.
Little Santa syndrome.
That's weird.
Hey, it's Christmas season. I watched 2 movies last night. Yeah, I'm in the spirit, I guess.
Hey, guys, if you don't mind, maybe we could end on this because Lofa and I do this on our show. Like, we just give a prediction, final score prediction, something like that for the game, obviously. And then another thing we do on the show for Lofa's company, Zone In, we zone in on a certain player, give out an over-under on a stat or something like that. And then people can email in our podcast, SeahawksPod@gmail.com, take the over or the under, let us know who the player was. We'll send out a prize from Lofa's company. What do you say?
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's give away free stuff.
All right. Who's up first? Give us a score prediction and a zone-in player that you're looking at from Rams or Seahawks, obviously.
So this is Frostee Rucker, and for you listeners out there, I'm going to give the score of 35-24. I'm going to go Hawks. My zone-in player of the game is going to be Aaron Donald with the 2.5 sacks over. If he does that, it makes it interesting. I'm going Hawks anyways, but my zone in is Aaron Donald with 2.5 sacks.
Nice.
All right.
Lofa, what do you got?
All right, Lofa here, and I'm going Hawks 35-27. And my zone-in player, I've been going defense a lot lately. I'm going to go offense. And with a lot of attention being turned to our, number 1 and number 2, Metcalf and Lockett, I'm going to zone in on the tight ends. And I'm going to go collectively that they get 8 catches and 70 yards and 1 touchdown.
All the tight ends? So we're taking all the tight ends?
Yeah, because, it's tough to go Disley, Hollister. I mean, they all scored up last game.
You include Parkinson in this too?
No, leave the rookie out of it.
All right, how many catches for the tight ends?
8, 70 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, geez, okay. Getting specific. I like it.
If you could have 3 guys on your fantasy team, that's a good stat line.
Yeah.
You only get 1, though. You only get 1.
Okay, fine. Then I'll
no, you can keep it.
No, it's fine.
Let's zone in more, man. Let's go. I like what Hollister did. He's our 3rd tight end. Like, they're playing the other 2, Olsen and Disley more. So give me Hollister. Give me 4 catches and 50 yards. And I'm giving him a tug, too.
There he is.
I love it.
Breaking down fantasy points.
Yeah, fantasy out there. Pick up Hollister, according to Lofa. All right, I'll probably be the lone one to take the Rams. I just think the bye week, having that horrible taste in their mouth after the Dolphins game, giving Mcvay all this time to get the offense right, and with how good the defense has been, having a full extra week to prepare for Russ, I think they shut him down. I'm going to go 20-17. These are always super close games. What was the last one? 33-32 in Seattle last year. So I'm going to go 2017, low scoring, not expected. I'm going to zone in. I know I talked Jalen Ramsey earlier. But I'm going to go on offense, and I'm going to go with a guy. Maybe this is a hot take. Cam Akers. Rams took him in the second round. We literally have not seen him. He's healthy now. He gets like 2 snaps a game. But I think that this full week, getting him fully healthy, they're going to give him the rock a lot more, and I'm going to go he's going to have over 65 yards and a touchdown.
Wow. All right. 1 TD. All right, so here's my score prediction. I'm going Seahawks. Surprise, surprise. Last week I picked against them, and then they actually lost, so I'm not doing
that again.
Yeah. No, never again. So I'm going with my Seahawks. They always have a weird, funky score, so I'm going to go 32-24. I don't know how they get there, but hey, why not? And my zone-in player, oh, boy. Let's go with DJ Dallas. I think I've taken him before, actually, this season already. But I'm going to just take him again. I mean, I'm calling on the tailbacks to step up. I think he's great. I think he's a spark plug out there. He runs really hard. He gets up laughing and smiling. He's really enjoying himself out there. He's a fun player to watch. And, it's cool to see number 31 running around on the field again out there for the Seahawks, representing Cam Chancellor and Cam. So my man DJ Dallas, let's take a stat line of I think they need to give him the ball at least 10 times. 10 carries for DJ Dallas. Come on. Feed the young guy. And not too sure on yards. 10 carries, I don't 65 yards and a touchdown. One touchdown.
Average there.
One total touchdown.
6.5 a total. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That is kind of silly. All right, maybe that's total yards. How about that?
Okay. Hey, you can say it. But,
sorry, I didn't do the math. Hey, I'm an actor, guys. All right.
None of us.
Wonderlic.
None of us are mathematicians here. So I'm surprised how quick me and Lofa computed that. We're like, oh, good average. All right.
Hey, you ever see my man's Wonderlic score? Jeez.
And I haven't. You want to share it, or is it?
Yeah, it was up there with the Harvard guys.
Love it.
Nah.
How do I even find mine? I would love that. I don't even remember.
I think I got a 29. It was one shy of 30.
I think I took one of those. They have like the test ones out there you can do online. I have no idea how accurate it is, but I think I got like a 40 on it.
Bullshit.
I hadn't heard of it.
I have a leisure study degree from Long Beach State. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm gonna need to see. Tell me the Carfax.
All right. Well, guys, this was a blast. This was fun. Lofa on the spot. Last question. Bobby Wagner still the best linebacker in football?
Yes.
I love Bobby Wagner.
Just get a quick little analysis around the league. No, there's nobody better than Bobby.
Yeah, especially with Kuechly retired. I love Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, there was them fighting back and forth for the crown. I'm trying to think who else do I enjoy watching. Kendricks is pretty awesome up in it's tough, but I know you guys like the UCLA fans on here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So
Anthony Barr and Kendricks. They're both fun.
I'll show Kendricks some love. Well, and his brother was up here doing some great things, and we got him back. I think he's going to get elevated here soon.
How about Shaq Thompson representing the Huskies? Come on now.
I do like Shaq Thompson's a beast.
How about the kid in Tampa?
Oh, Devern Boyd he is a dog.
Got some good ones. The other guy, too, in Tampa, their captain. 5'4".
David?
Yeah, David's great, too.
I was a big fan of Levante. He's never gotten the respect he deserves. But Devin White, he's coming up fast in terms of being one of the top linebackers in the league. But I still think Bobby's got the crown all around game. And
champ, you got to beat him in every angle.
Yeah, I don't see anybody doing the stuff he does, and he's just a beast.
Well, you better get that defense playing better after that.
Yeah, you want him to go out corner, bro? What do you want him to do?
Maybe.
I mean, we're about to line him up at the end until we got Dunlap.
Yeah, he could do it, though.
He could.
Oh, for sure.
He
can transition.
He's gonna make you quake, man.
Mm-hmm. I wanted Dunlap so bad in LA, but we couldn't afford him. So, all right, guys, this was fun. Lofa Tatupu, Brett Davern, my man Frostee Rucker. Should be a good game. 3-1 Hawks over Rams. I was the lone one to take the Rams, so we'll see. You guys all gave them 24 points too. You all put the Hawks over 30 and the Rams all at 24. We'll see what happens. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, this was a blast, a lot of fun. Hopefully, everyone out there enjoyed listening to it. Brett Davern, Lofa Tatupu, two of the best. The Seahawks Podcast. Make sure to check them out. They are on the Believe Network as well. Frostee, as always, thanks, my man. Where can everyone find you at?
They can find me at The Organic Frost on Instagram and Twitter, and Frostee Podcast at yahoo.com. Email me your questions, concerns, and problems. I won't respond to the problems.
but make sure to email them because he loves reading them, and we read them together. You can find me at Ryan Dyrud, LAFB. The main account is LAFB Network. Frost, got to always shout out your new show, Take Back the West. It's going great so far. So for all those Trojan fans listening in today, make sure to follow at Take Back the West. And have a great weekend. We have a great guest coming up for the Chargers fans out there on our next episode, so we'll just tease it at that. And we got some great games coming up this weekend for the Bruins and Trojans, which we'll get into later. But thank you all for tuning in. This is the LA Football Podcast. We'll talk to you all soon.